Okay, so you won't believe the royal drama I've been following. It's way juicier than anything you see on The Crown, and it all centers around Camilla. Not that I ever really warmed up to her, but this is a whole other level of scandalous. It started subtly, a whisper of unease in the palace corridors. King Charles, ever the observer, noticed a shift in Camilla's routine. She was ditching the afternoon teas and the usual royal appearances, replaced by these mysterious weekly excursions. Always the same day, always the same time. Camilla would slip out of Clarence's house, dragging a heavy brown leather suitcase emblazoned with the royal crest. Nobody knew where she was going and when she'd return. Always in the dead of night, she was like a different person. Expressionless, almost haunted, but with this strange gleam in her eyes, like she'd accomplished something. Monumental, but also, I don't know, maybe a little bit sinister? Charles, being Charles, kept his cool initially, but the questions started nagging at him. He confided in William, asking if he'd noticed anything amiss. William, who's always been fiercely protective of his father and the monarchy, took the bait. He'd had his own reservations about Camilla over the years, but this felt different. More than just independent streaks, so William, being the future king and all, decided to do a little investigating of his own. No entourage, no fanfare, just him in a small black car tailing Camilla through the London streets. The journey took them further and further from the polished veneer of royal life, deeper into a side of London most people never see. The lights got sparser, the roads got narrower, and the air got thick with the smell of damp and decay. Finally, Camilla stopped, and William found himself in a place called New Hollow. Ever heard of it? Me neither, until this whole thing blew up. Apparently, it's this forgotten corner of London, a slum on the edge of everything with gray walls, makeshift roofs, and a general air of hopelessness. Not exactly where you expect the queen consort to be hanging out. Camilla got out of the car, still dragging that damn suitcase. No security, no staff, just her. A man who looked like some kind of local guard bowed and opened this narrow iron gate for her, and she disappeared behind a row of dilapidated houses. William, playing it cool, approached the guard. He asked, in that calm, restrained way he has, who that woman was. The guard hesitated, then whispered that there was a locked warehouse in there and only she had the key. A secret warehouse, tucked away in a slum, accessible only to Camilla? That's when William knew this wasn't some standard charity gig. Something seriously weird was going on. The image of that warehouse hidden in the shadows of New Hollow kept replaying in William's mind. What was Camilla hiding, and why? It couldn't just be a simple act of kindness, it was too secretive, too calculated. He knew he had to find out the truth, no matter how ugly it might be. So William starts watching her even closer. He notices this pattern. Same time, same suitcase, same route. And every time she gets back, she locks herself in this private room on the second floor of Clarence's house. Apparently only a few trusted servants are allowed in there to clean, and even Charles rarely goes in. The servant said that inside the light is always dim, like it's hiding some other world that only Camilla knows. One evening, William subtly questioned this elderly servant, who'd been around since Diana's time. The servant told him that she often locks herself in until late at night. Sometimes he hears the sound of opening cabinets, the clink of metal, like metals or silver boxes. But by morning, everything is tidy. No one dares to ask. It was enough to give you the creeps, right? So William puts it all together, the suitcases, the clinking metal, the locked warehouse. He knew he had to tell Charles. He was like, "Father, this isn't simple. If it's charity, why hide it? Why not report it to the Royal Finance Council?" Charles, being the cautious one, tells William to be careful, to gather evidence and not to act rashly. Avoid a media disaster at all costs. But William knew he had to protect the royal family's honor, even if it meant descending into that darkness himself. A week later, he goes back to New Hollow, but this time he's in plain clothes, baseball cap pulled low, with a small camera. He's walking around observing the residents. They're huddled in their damp rooms, looking weird theory, but they're also strangely respectful when they mention Camilla. One woman even tells him that Camilla brings food every week and promises them a new shelter, a new life. She calls New Hollow the kingdom of the forgotten. Can you even imagine? It's so twisted. The more William heard, the more something felt off. A charitable operation with no record, no budget, no oversight, but carried out regularly and secretly by the future queen. He knew he was about to start an investigation that could shake the throne. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that could bring down the whole monarchy. But he was determined to expose the truth no matter what. So after days of watching and waiting, William decides he has to get inside that warehouse. Well, that iron door, the one only Camila has the key to, is the key to everything. He enlists a trusted aide who makes a copy of the key. He goes into Camila's private room while everyone is asleep. It was chillingly neat, he said, and there, hidden in a drawer, was a bundle of silver keys. He sees an odd engraving on them. CRS Camila Royal Shelter. It was like a code name, a secret world. He makes a mold of the key and gets a duplicate made with a 3D printer. The next morning, he tells his 3 most trusted allies, 2 guards from his military days and a security engineer, that they're going to New Hollow that night. They get there, and it's even worse than he thought. The air is thick with garbage and smoke. They get to the warehouse, and William uses the key to open the door. Inside, it's not just a warehouse. It's a vast underground space, renovated with tiled walls, electric lights, and a cement floor. And in the center, there's a small altar draped in red velvet holding a photo of Queen Elizabeth II, along with antique items, medals, badges, silver goblets, handwritten letters, and a jewelry box bearing Diana's insignia. Can you believe it? And the stuff that should have been in the royal archives. Then he hears whispers. It's the residents of New Hollow, looking at him with this mix of fear and reverence. They're all society's outcasts. Gaunt women, one-legged veterans, kids wrapped in rags, but they bow when they mention Camilla. They said she gives them food, a place to sleep, and that she says they're the souls of the new kingdom. She promises them an identity in the palace. That's when William realizes what's going on. Camila is building her own system, a loyal network, puppets ready to do her bidding. It's not just ambition, it's a political conspiracy, a preparation for a palace purge. He had to find out what was really going on. So, William asks them what she's done with the items, who brought them there. At first, they're silent, scared. But then this young guy, his eyes all greedy, steps forward when William pulls out some cash. He says he'll tell him everything, but he begs William not to tell Camilla. He spills the beans, telling William that every week, Camilla arrives with suitcases from Clarence's house, placing them in wooden cabinets before performing a ceremony. She claims it's to resurrect the honor of forgotten royal souls. She promised them that when the time came, she would reshape the monarchy using the people there. William's face goes white. He realizes this has crossed the line. This is a full-blown political conspiracy. He gives the guy the money and signals his guards to start recording everything with their cameras. But then in the corner, this woman quietly pulls out her phone and sends a message. Mistress William is here. What? They've opened the door. That message is like a match thrown into dry grass. Meanwhile, back at Clarence's house, Camilla is sitting alone having tea when her phone buzzes. It's Lucas, the guy in charge of the underground facility. The message just says, Mistress William has entered. They've seen everything. She jumps up, her breathing gets all fast, and she grips the phone so hard her knuckles turn white. She's seeing images in her head, the antiques, the altar, the homeless people bowing, and William's cold face. She knows if the truth comes out, she's done for. She calls Mabel the housekeeper and tells her in this icy voice to erase every trace of that area tonight. Leave nothing that can be traced back. Mabel asks, what about the people there? And Camila just says she doesn't care as long as by morning it's nothing but ashes. She tells Mabel to say it was an electrical fire, and then she tells Mabel to get William's hard drive. He must have recorded everything. Make sure it all disappears before dawn. Camilla looks at Charles's photo on the wall, and her eyes are filled with desperation and hatred. She knows she's gone too far, but there's no turning back. William, meanwhile, is leaving the underground facility. He's got this leather bag with the original hard drive, all the evidence of Camilla's secret operation. He stops under this abandoned shop laptop, opens his phone, and sends the entire data set to a trusted aide of Princess Anne, someone he trusts completely. He's backed everything up and sealed it securely. Then, in his personal bag, he deliberately leaves a fake hard drive, one that looks exactly like the real thing. He knows Camilla won't let it go. He understands her. When she's cornered, she'll do anything. One of his guards runs up saying someone from the warehouse is following them, that they want to check what he's carrying. William just nods, calm as can be. He tells them to let them. A few minutes later, two guys in work clothes approach him, saying there's been an electrical malfunction and they need to check if he's carrying any electrical devices. William acts surprised and lets them search his bag. One of the guys grabs the fake hard drive, hides a smile, nods, and hurries off. William just stands there, watching. He knows they've fallen into the trap. At the same time, Camilla is in her car, heading to New Hollow. She sees the flashing lights reflecting on her face, and she's filled with fear and fury. Her phone rings and it's Mabel. She tells her the warehouse is on fire, logged as an electrical short, and that William's hard drive has been retrieved. Camilla closes her eyes and breathes out sharply. "Good," she says. "This ends here." She leans back, ignoring the sound of the fire engines. She thinks she's turned the tide. She thinks all the evidence is gone, all the witnesses scattered, but she doesn't know that William is safely back at Clarence's house and that the real hard drive is with Anne's aide, secured beyond reach. As he walks through the palace, William stops before a portrait of the queen. He knows this is just the beginning and that Camilla, despite burning the treasure, can't erase her own tracks. In New Hollow, the flames are roaring, devouring the underground facility. The residents are fleeing, looking back at the place where their mistress once came, not understanding why their haven has turned to ash. 3 days later, the press reports a brief story about an electrical short causing a blaze. No casualties. Everything seems to fade into silence. The police don't investigate. No one mentions Camilla. She sits before her mirror, looking perfect, like nothing has happened. She thinks she's won. She thinks the fake hard drive has been taken, the antiques incinerated, the witnesses dispersed, but she's wrong. So wrong.